Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, RealTing. I'm Tara.
Hi, I'm Audrey, and we are recapping Roswell Season 2, Episode 4. And this is called What If God Was One of Us? And we start with a flashback to 1947. They seem to be doing this each time now.
Right.
So we realize that the black guy that we saw the last time, he's the foreman of the farmhouse. And this is where he's taken those two female aliens. The women are in the house and he's helping them. The women do something and they're appreciative of him helping them. So I don't know exactly what he did, but they did something that allowed his fields to grow overnight.
Oh well, I think it was their way of saying thank you for taking care of us, and they I guess they heard him complaining about his fields, so they were like,
we can do this.
Huba, luba, luba, hee, bala, huba, hee. And there you go.
Their crop came in and it was quite abundant. And
I saw a movie like that, and it turned out bad. So
yeah, there was some Jeepers Creepers type of movie like that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah,
cornfield or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it wasn't a good thing. Not a good thing. But hopefully this turns out to be a good thing. We will hold that. So that was the 1947 flashback. And in the present day, Liz and Kyle talk about how they're going to help Max. So Kyle feels slightly less optimistic about performing this big heart surgery. That he's not a heart surgeon,
no,
but he's been looking at a lot of
what
heart
kind
surgeries.
Of doctor is he though? I can't even remember.
I'm not sure. He might be a general.
I think he's just a general doctor.
He's been looking in on a lot of heart surgeries.
A lot of things.
They figured it out. So Liz needs his help in getting a machine out of the hospital. And she's asking him to help her with that. Kyle is resigned to helping Liz do whatever she needs to help Max, because he loves her basically, and he'll do whatever he can to help her. And he realizes that she doesn't love him, she's in love with Max, but he's still there to help her. And they talk about Rosa being better since she's hanging out with DeLuca, because DeLuca only trusts Rosa now because she was the only one that was honest with her. So at least Rosa has some company. So Liz and Isabel are at the diner when Isabel says she's feeling lighter. So Blueberry's gone.
Yes. Didn't know Blueberry was such a heavy thing.
But Blueberry's gone. So, and she admits to rethinking how she'll use her powers from now on. She thinks she can help Liz's father to accept Rosa, so she's going to try and get into his head and help him to deal with how he feels
the reality of
Rosa, and then somehow they can bring Rosa to him so he knows that she's alive. To make
it look like it's a miracle, because he's like really Catholic, so he really believes in miracles and stuff, and it's okay, if I work it a certain way, I can make.
So Isabel is planning to do that. Kyle brings food for his mom. His mom is the sheriff, and she's still investigating Noah's death, and she's looking into it. But Kyle, still taking care of his mom. Alex tells Michael he reached out to DeLuca, and she's not going to say anything. So because she's not talking to them, Kyle and Rosa and Jenna and everybody else has to sort of calm her down and deal with her so that the alien kids don't get
found out.
Yeah. Yes. They investigate the farm where this foreman was, and there's a sign up that says no trespassing, but as they go there, this guy comes out to talk to them, but Michael uses his powers to let the horses go, and while the poor guy had to go running looking for the horses, they got onto the farm and were able to move around there a little bit easier. So Kyle looking into another heart surgery when that girl Steph, and again she's the dean of surgery's daughter, she comes up and she accuses him of trying to impress some girl who's trying to save her guy. So, why are you taking all this time to do all of this stuff just to impress this chick who doesn't even really want you?
Yeah.
So,
that's really blunt. Blunt, but true.
It's pretty to the point. Jenna is catching up with Alex's dad, and he's home. He seems to be out of the hospital. Jenna stopped by to visit him and accuses him of lying about her sister because she went out of town because he gave her details of where her sister would be. So she left town to go look for her sister, but she wasn't there. And he tells her that her sister is in a lot more trouble than she knows. Isabel works with Liz's dad to put positive thoughts of Rosa in his head. So, she's taking time to slowly convince the father that he'll be in a place where if Rosa appears to him, he won't reject that.
Miracle.
Kyle and Liz in Dean's office. So the dean of surgery, they're in his office to get the key so that they can go and get that machine that she wants. So they're in the office searching, and then the dean comes into the office with his daughter, and they both go into the closet. Yeah, they have to hide in the closet. They got trapped in the closet.
Right.
Yeah, if you remember that. They got trapped in the closet.
And then the crazy thing is that what's the girl's name again? Steph went into the closet to go get the dad's hat because they were going out for lunch. And open up, and there's Liz and Kyle kissing, and the girl just simply looks at Kyle and goes,
closes the closet.
Closes back the closet.
Yes. So we have another flashback, and this one is to 1948. So the two women are still on the farm. So it wasn't just a night, because he told them initially you can stay one night. So if it's now 1948, it's like almost a year, or I don't know how long. But they're now speaking English. And there's a little boy that's running around there. His name is Walt, and he lives on the farm. So he's talking to Nora, who is Michael's mom, and she talks to him about her son and how she just wants to keep him safe.
I think the reason why they stayed is because the foreman, the black guy, was in love with
the other lady,
with Max and Isabel's mom.
Yeah, but anyways, they
so that was cute.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen that yet, but we're trying to figure it out.
Intergalactical love.
Yes.
Get it?
Then we're back to we're back to present day. So Alec and Michael are checking out the barn 70 years ago. So they're on that farm where these guys were. There's a good chance that Walt might still be alive. So a guy at the farm tells them about the foreman hiding Nazi spies, which obviously were the aliens, not really Nazi spies. I wonder how many Nazi spies are thought to be aliens.
Right.
Well, in North America they are, anyways.
Yeah, especially in one certain place.
Yes. So Kyle and Liz get out of the closet, and he freaks out about being seen. Because, he's like, he's doing all this stuff for her. Anyway, Isabel visits Rosa with questions about her father and tells her she's able to bring her home. Isabel's asked Rosa's permission to help her because she, gives her the idea of what she's doing with her dad and tells her that, if she can work this, she'd be able to, that she can go home to her dad. Jenna talks about her sister. Her name is Charlie. Seems Charlie was afraid of something, and she preferred to be sent to prison where she could be safe rather than staying out and whatever
whatever was out there must be really scary.
Pretty bad,
because prison don't look like it's a vacation spot. So
she was doing some kind of research on genocide, so somebody must have gotten her research material.
She was too nosy into the government's business, and the government decided to say,
let's see what we're gonna do.
You think you're gonna get past me? Okay.
Yes, and Alex's dad, Jess, admits to having used some of her research in his fight over the years. So, there's some more stories, more to that story.
I bet she's a really good researcher because, those stuff are top secret.
But she's government, so hey.
True.
Yeah. So Isabel talks to Rosa about her mood swings. and the voices in her head. She talks about happy times with her dad and how he saved her, because with her, I think she recognizes that she is bipolar. She has some issues, but her dad was always able to calm her down and keep her grounded. So not having contact with him right now is pretty hard for her.
Based on the flashback, it seemed like the father, like the relationship between Rosa and her dad was not exactly the most loving situation. No. So maybe on her end, he helped her, but on his end,
she
like
was
a pain in the behind.
She was torture for him. The poor man had his hands full. Yes. So Jenna gets into information on the private security outfit looking for her sister, and Jess admits to wanting to see how Roswell story ends. So, Jenna is going to continue looking for her sister and figure out what's happening, while Alex's father just wants to observe what's going on in Roswell, and he's just going to stick around to see what's going on. Kyle allows himself to talk to Liz about putting her first and her always putting Max first. He's not impressed. Liz tells him she sees him as family, and that's maybe even worse than the friend zone.
So much worse.
So he's in the family zone.
It's in the family zone, which means that any sort of chance that could or could not happen is definitely not going to happen.
You're like my brother.
Yeah, that's exactly what you are.
Yeah. And, convinces him that what they're trying to do to help Max is research that will help other people. So it's not just for Max. Yeah. Okay. So Kyle agrees to continue helping her, but tells her, after this is done, I'm going to need some space, because I'm not sure how I feel about you right now.
Well, I don't blame him, because it's like an emotional roller coaster. Like, how can he keep up a relationship like that without there being any give and take, and it seems like all she's doing is taking.
Michael and Alex are still at the barn, and they're talking about the Air Force showing up and setting fire to the barn back in the day. And this young guy comes and talks to them, and it seems like he's Wyatt's cousin. So he's talking to them about what actually happened at the barn, and that the soldiers came and burned down the whole thing and killed people that were in it. Kyle brings a birthday dinner for his mom. She's convinced that Noah was poisoned by Liz and Max. She's still so obsessed by all of that. Kyle tells her to leave it alone. It's an act of God. Just don't worry about it. So Michael and Kyle look over papers for what the two female not Kyle, Michael and Alex, what the two female aliens were doing. They were trying to get the pods out, so they were trying to secure the pods. The Air Force hunted them for years and murdered everyone on that farm, like we said.
And it was so sad, because, his mother, Michael's mom, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, Michael's mom, sorry, sometimes I forget the names, befriended the little boy. What little boy?
Wyatt.
Wyatt, and befriended him, made sure that he was okay and all this stuff, and then when the military showed up, she put him in this basket, in this bin, and said, "Okay, don't come up unless I come and tell you." So then the military man has the audacity to go throw this fire thing inside of the barn. The whole barn catches on fire. The little boy did. Yeah. And it's like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if he's dead, because they still said that maybe Wyatt is alive. I don't know.
No.
We'll find out. But Alex feels bad, because the guy that did all of this was a means. It was his family.
Yeah.
So he feels pretty bad. He gives Michael the piece of the ship, because remember that glowy piece of the ship? He's had it for a while, but he gave it to Michael, and because he doesn't want any more names standing in Michael's way, people with his name to stand in their way of finding out what they need to do. So Kyle runs into Steph and tries to apologize. She's not sure why he wants to apologize. She's just like, it's not my business. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. You want to stand in the closet kissing some girl that don't want you.
Right.
That's your business. So she's like,
I don't know you from a can of paint, bro. Like, chill. Like, this is not that serious. Like, I talk to you every once in a while. Does not mean we're in a relationship.
Yeah. So
I don't care.
Not my business. Yes. So Jenna leaves a message for Liz to bring Max home as she leaves town to go look for her sister. Rosa goes to see her father. He recognizes her and believes it's a miracle she's alive. Isabel helps him. You can see Isabel in the background manipulating the memories, and he believes in the miracle. And Liz sees them together, and she thanks Isabel for doing that for her family. So it was all happy. Yeah. So Kyle's dad, Jess, has the gun that was used to kill the people from the farm. His father's gun, we're hoping, but he still has
but it's
the
his
gun.
Grandfather, no?
Yeah, his father.
Oh, okay.
So he still has that gun that we saw being used by the other Maine's guy when he killed the people.
Jeez, so, what kind of family this?
I know.
It's just a whole bunch of people trying to kill one another.
I know. Isabel shares her success with Max, but as she leaves, his generator shuts off and his eyes pop open. So, ta-da! Yes. So our one-liners for this episode. Some things are just God's will, and that was Kyle to his mom as she keeps trying to figure out what happened to Noah.
I love how we like to say God's will when we can't
we don't
explain
know.
things.
We don't have an answer.
Like,
yes,
God's will.
Yes,
it's okay.
That's good enough. Yes. And the next one, as long as I'm your rock, I'm standing still.
Aww.
That was Kyle to Liz, because Liz keeps going to him for help, but because he cares about her, as long as he's involved with her, he's not doing anything for his own life. So, he's trying to cut loose from her a little bit. And the last one, when God grants you a miracle, you don't question it, you give thanks.
Exactly.
And that was Liz to Rosa about her dad.
Yes.
Just say thanks that you're now can have that relationship with your dad. So that's it for April 6th episode of Roswell.
Yes, and I would like to thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and comment.
Yes. Be safe,
kind, and loving.
Bye.